This device does not feel outdated, mainly because of its design, although it got huge bezels on top and the bottom, but the design still looks really good and still look modern. So I have been using this device, the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, for a few days now. This device is actually still usable as a primary device. So I have reviewed Samsung Galaxy Note 5, which is kind of a really similar device, the specs and everything, and the software experience pretty much similar. So let's see what we are getting with the device. The device is running on Samsung's own custom UI, Experience UI, and it is running on Android 7, as you can see here, Android 7. And I did talk about Android 7 a lot, even on my Samsung Note 5 video, so you can check that video out. By the way, the experience is not really that bad. The device is still working perfectly fine though. And as you can see, the device I have here is connected to the charger, because if I unplug the charger, it will die instantly. The battery is already bad. Rather than that, the device still feels really good. And if you are using latest devices from Samsung or any other devices, if you hold this device feels like a toy phone, because it's so lightweight, and handling this device is also really good actually. As you can see here, my SIM card is there and it is 4G supported device, and also VoLTE is working perfectly fine, no issue. So making phone call and text messaging, it's not going to be that bad, because still you can do that. And also the display, as you can see here, one thing which is kind of keeping this device alive, you can say the display. And this display is actually quite expensive too. So the display we have here is actually 1440p AMOLED panel, which is 5.1 inch, and the display size is pretty good actually for one hand users. I can use this device one hand without much issue actually. And the curve, as you can see here, Samsung already stopped using any kind of curved display on their devices. The last device came with curved display, it was a Note device, so Samsung Galaxy Note 3, which I have here. So here we are getting a little more curved, like today's standard devices you can get from Motorola and other brands, but the display actually still holds up pretty well. This display is still really good for consuming multimedia, so it's really good. And in terms of whole overall experience, the software is not really that bad, but if you want better experience, you can install custom ROM on this device. You can get a lot of custom ROM which will allow you to run Android 8 to 10 on this device, and they will give you better app support, and the device will run much better on them, because the experience UI here actually is quite bloated and you can't really uninstall most of the application. So in terms of that, actually it will perform much better on custom ROM. One thing you might not get is that the camera experience. So the camera experience on this device is better on the original UI, because it tuned very well, but on a custom ROM you might not get this kind of experience. But if they port the camera application directly to the custom ROM, you might get the same experience. So here is the camera, which is 16 megapixel IMX 240, and the camera experience is pretty much similar to Note 5, maybe a little more or less. So if I swipe to left hand side, we can see auto mode, pro mode, panorama mode, selective focus, slow motion, fast motion, virtual shot, video collage, live broadcast, those things. And also I can download few modes from their store, and the store is still working. And if I go to left hand side, so we do have few filters here, those you can use. And the pro mode here is actually really good, and it works really well. It's pretty much similar to Note 5, and the picture quality is also still holding up pretty well. So this device shoot up to 16 megapixel, 16 by 9, and if you want 4 by 3, it will shoot in 12 megapixel. So the picture quality, as you can see here, really good. And I still enjoy taking picture with these older devices. They are so good in terms of like picture quality, and they still holds up pretty well. So as you can see here, the pictures turns out really good. It does not look that bad compared to today's devices actually, so it's still good. And as you can see here, it's holding up pretty well, not really bad. And also in terms of like video quality, so the rear facing camera still can shoot up to 4K 30 fps, as you can see here. And also it does support HDR, so this device do have auto HDR, that also working perfectly fine. And the front facing camera is 5 megapixel, which is pretty decent, and One really good thing about this front-facing camera is that it can shoot up to 1440p, which is still not available in many flagship devices. So that's really good. So the device camera experience is going to be really good, even though it is a almost 10 years old device. Software experience going to be a little bit bad because most of the things is not work here. Like the browser, the built-in browser is already outdated, so you have to install a third-party browser, and still you're not going to get that good experience from browsing because most of the today's web pages this device will not be able to handle. That is a downside of this kind of older devices. But as I said, if you install a custom ROM, this device will give you a really good experience. Rather than that, if you go to YouTube, so YouTube app still work here because Android 7 and YouTube works, and as you can see here, the content we can see it is doing pretty well actually. Not really that smooth like today's devices, but it is really good. So let me play NCS music. So the speaker quality is not really that bad, it's still really good and rich speaker. And also as a curved edge device, this device do have few curved edge features. So if you go to setting panel and if I go to display section, we do have some features like edge screen, so we can have few panels here. Actually you can get this feature on the device don't really have edge, but still you can use this feature. So these are the features you can use here, and it's good actually. And also you can get some peak and other features here. They works well on this device, but not really useful for me. So those are there. And also as a old device, this device don't really come with any kind of dark mode or anything like that, but you can still get few themes which will give you a darker look here. Because of having AMOLED panel, it will help you to get a bit more battery backup from this device. Unlike Samsung Note 5, this device does not allow you to reduce the resolution, so it will stuck at a native resolution. So if I go to display section, as you can see here, we don't really have any option to reduce the display resolution, so it will stuck at 1440p. But as you can see here, the display is crisp and sharp and still works. And if I want darker themes, you can go to theme section and log into your Samsung account. I am not doing that actually, but I already did on my Note 5. And also extra feature like it also got heart rate sensor here. It does not work actually. I did try to play with it, so there is S health application, but for some reason it said, as you can see here, the device has been compromised. I don't really know why, but the device actually running an official software here. Maybe the software is outdated, but I did try updating the software on my Note 5, still it didn't work. So there is some issue going on, but anyway, the sensor is not really that much capable of doing anything because as you know, they don't really provide you like accurate data, so not really useful. But as far as usability goes, this device is still holding up pretty well. The cameras are really good, the speaker quality is still decent, and also it got really beautiful display. One more thing actually, this device got its fingerprint scanner, which is good enough. So as you can see here, it can unlock the device pretty fast, not really like today's device, but it is not really that far behind. And also this device does support wireless charging, so that is also available up to 5 watt maybe, and it also supports fast charging up to 15 watt. So these are the things you are getting, and the experience from this device actually really good, still usable if anyone wants to use this device. Although in terms of gaming it's not going to do much, but I did play Call of Duty on my Note 5 and it did pretty well. So in terms of gaming also you are not really that far behind, it's still workable device. So that's all about this Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.